Yah Bashim Yah Shai, Bashim Rakakadash, Barakatah. Double honors to the elder apostles of Great Millstone. Salutations to you brothers out there pushing the truth and truth of sincerity. This is the brother Yawadan. Just a lesson here regarding an article or two articles on RT that furthermore prove the times that we're in, and then the scriptures that correlate with them to prove the dark sentences that the scriptures are bringing out, the prophesied dark sentences and dark parables, the parabolic speech, so to speak, and furthermore, hopefully edifying the elect, if it be the Lord's will. I'm gonna start with Isaiah 13:6. How ye, for the day of the Lord is at hand; it shall come as a destruction from the Almighty. And that destructive day is coming on to America and the rest of the world for the wickedness of the world. Everybody that is in the world is insanely wicked. Obviously, the heathens, the nations that the Lord is not dealing with, that are not a part of the covenant, they're out of control. They're out of line. They're not gonna hearken unto repentance because they can't. The Israelites, for that matter, 2/3, they're not having it. You have a righteous 1/3 that's attempting to return to the law, statutes, and commandments, and that's where we fall as the men of Great Millstone, starting with the other apostles on down. All right, we're hopeful that we may be of that number, and that number I mean the 144,000 righteous men, 12,000 from each tribe, the 1/3. Okay, but the day of destruction is near upon us. You know, we see all these prophecies coming to pass, and we know that the Lord is nigh. All right, it says no man shall know that time exactly, but he said that that generation shall not pass until these things be fulfilled. All right, so now that these things have started to occur, we know in this lifetime that we live now, the Lord will return, and we have faith in that. All right, it is also written that he shall come as a thief in the night. So we're waiting for our king, you know, as Israelites, being Hamashiach, Yahweh Shai. Okay, let's get the article because it's, you know, partially edifying. I like to deal with the scriptures because to me they expound and they say everything that, you know, someone would need to know. But sometimes people learn better with the correlation between the flesh and the world and then the spirit. So here it is. Future of war. What will the storming of big cities and urban areas look like? In recent conflicts in the Middle East, the heaviest battles have been for big cities. Still, in terms of warcraft, and you know Esau uses the word warcraft because he's a fucking witch. All right, he's a sorcerer. He's a demon, a devil. All right, that's where they gain their power from Satan, straight from Satan. These Edomites, all right. You know, starting with Amalek on down, Warcraft. You know what I mean? They craft, or they're praying to their demons and their evil spirits. That's how they operate because they're the wicked. All right. The issues surrounding the storming of urban areas and minimizing casualties remain fundamentally unresolved. Leading militaries of the world are currently processing and conceptualizing any experience they have conducting warfare in big cities. And why are they conceptualizing the format of warfare in the Middle East? Because that is what's going to occur in their cities. All right. And they know that. All right. Their demons that they pray to, being the wicked Edomites, are letting them know to become ready for this event, you know, but they're posturing them in the belief that they will win, and the belief that they will overcome the nuclear war and overcome the World War III event situation and the economic collapse that is coming to the world, but they will not. All right. But again, the point being conceptualizing and processing. You know, Esau likes to turn shit into algorithms and uses computers and his demonic algorithms and sorceries and wizardries to feel comfortable in how he operates as a damn devil. All right. So, and that's what they're doing. They're using the Middle East as a playground, the Valley of Jehoshaphat, basically, the scriptures speak about. And they're you know, coming up with these algorithms so that they can feel more comfortable when this World War III and this warfare comes to their shores. That they feel better about, maybe that they'll win, or China posturing, Moab posturing himself as that he has next up. You know what I mean? Waiting for his moment to shine, which will not be the case. Russia, Magog, also trying to position himself to gain the reins and gain the world superpower emblem, and then America trying to remain as the so called superpower giant with its petrodollar. But meanwhile, all behind the scenes here, we have the Rothschilds, the Rockefellers, and DuPonts, and the Gettys, and the elitists, the one percenters, the ones that fund both sides of the war, the ones that fund America, Russia, and China. All right, they're the ones that provide military assistance to ISIS and all these so-called terrorist groups that America goes into countries and fights for and overthrows their independent governments and replaces them with democratic bureaucracies, so that way they can influence and control their natural resources. That is how they do that, and that is how it is at this point, and that's what they're doing basically. Early November marked 3 years since the start of the siege of Raqqa in Syria. Now, and this is the Valley of Jehoshaphat right now, and this is close to the Holy Land, but again, the scriptures speak about Israel as a people before a place. So we're not worried about the Holy Land being fucked off right now. Excuse my rude speech. But we will go back, and I say we as the hopeful elect, all right? The 144,000 will go back with Yahushua HaMashiach and rebuild Jerusalem and rebuild Israel, even after the nuclear destruction and the siege of the world in World War III, which is prophesied to come. All right, but Esau, he's getting ready for this. I mean, you look down here, you see a bunch of Ishmaelite kids, maybe possible confusions of faces, who knows? But more than likely Ishmael, or whatever. A cemetery for the living, Mosul 5 years after Islamic State conquest. And this is what's coming to America, man. Everybody in America is, content with this freedom and so-called freedom, and they're in love with the fact that wars never really touched the shores of America. But that's what the Most High prophesied, is that this place will be like that. Like, they will believe in their hearts that nothing ever bad would ever come to this place, and that they'd be pardoned for any type of terrible warfare, like what we see in this picture right here. But what I'm here to tell you, if you are comfortable in America, especially if you're an Israelite, is that this scene in this picture here on the screen is what's coming to America. And it's up to you as an Israelite to return unto the law, statutes, and commandments as soon as you possibly can. All right, because it's all through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, and start to make pardon for the iniquities and sins that we've committed in this lifetime and in the lifetimes before this. All right, pray for mercy, pray for forgiveness, because this scene is coming to America a lot quicker than the world wants to believe. And definitely a lot quicker than America wants to believe, or Americans. And it just goes into basically how they're conceptualizing, and, how they fucked off the Middle East and drained their resources, and being the damn devil that Esau is, et cetera, et cetera. I mean, it's all the same story. And once you see spiritually the way that Esau Edom is, and start looking at the world itself as a spirit, or in a spiritual eye, I should say, Salakia, then you start to see the patterns of the spirit, and you can begin to decipher between the righteous and the wicked, and then you can see the Lord speaking to us in the world that we live in today, so to speak. All right, and this is another article I wanted to kind of iterate on, and this is what will eventually come to America and the world as well. We have been talking about nuclear destruction and nuclear fire, and this is what's happening. And this is an op-ed story, so it's not really something that's occurring or that can be proven to have occurred, but I'm gonna roll with it because in the spirit we know it's gonna happen. And this author here has the spirit on him, at least whether he's a heathen or an Israelite, doesn't matter, has had the spirit put on him to make this article to furthermore, alert Israelites, us as a people, to what time we're in. All right, the Pentagon's new nuclear doctrine is scary as hell. And we don't fear the Pentagon. We don't fear Esau. We don't fear the devil. We fear Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai. Because through all these methods of wickedness and evil, all right, they are allowed and authorized to be occurring under Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai. They're not supreme to our God, and they never will be. So we don't fear the things of the flesh, and we don't fear the things of the wicked, because we fear the creator of that. All right, and that's much more fearful to be feared than something that is lesser than. You know what I mean? It says the Pentagon is actively contemplating the use of nuclear weapons to win wars that need not to be fought in the first place. As expected, opposition to the U.S. nuclear doctrine is almost non-existent, right? Because everybody is in that spirit, man. First of all, the U.S. media ain't talking about nothing to do with nothing around the world. CNN and ABC and all them demons, man. They don't air nothing to do with the world and what's going on. All these protests, all this financial and economic distress around the world. They're not talking about none of that shit. All right, they're talking about all kinds of bullshit in the country with Donald Trump and basically bread and circus, man. If you look up ancient Roman culture and look up the gladiator pits, coliseums rather, look up bread and circus. They're just feeding distractions, just all distractions in America. That's all it is, to keep everybody sustained, keep everybody content, keep everybody calm and docile. That's what that is. All right. And that's scary. If you're an Israelite and you see that, you know the Lord's coming soon, man. So we fear Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai, because he's got all these people sleep to the shit. That's terrifying. You know, we fear Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai, his great power. It used to be the case that the idea of using nuclear weapons in a real-world conflict was such a taboo idea that no one was ever openly to contemplate it. We need only to look back to the end of World War II to realize how catastrophic and harmful nuclear weapons can be on civilian populations. And it goes on to talk about Nagasaki and Hiroshima, which the devil right now, Esau Edom, he has some shit in his arsenals. These Russians and these Moabites, these Chinese, and these American Edomites, man, they got some shit now for your ass. They got some nuclear weapons now that man, the Lord, he put that spirit, like the elders, they teach, man. Elder Yashar Wamba teaches, man. The devil had that spirit put on him to fuck with these scientists, man, in America, and these scientists in Russia after the Cold War, to develop that atomic energy and that nuclear energy to be some power that they have no control over. They should have no business have power or having some shit like that in their control, being the devil. And the fact that the devil has that much potential power and destruction in his hands shows you what time we are in and what era we are in and what's to come. And if you can't see that, then you're not allowed to see that, and you will never see that unless the Lord wills it. But it's not for you to understand. So, and that's just that. And I'm sorry for you, but get comfortable. You will die in your shoes where you are. It says the United States military has decided that the only chance it has of maintaining a stranglehold. I like that word that the author used here, a stranglehold, because that's the United States military posture. Anything it does in the world and in its demonic conquest with the U.S. military is a stranglehold. You know what I mean? They got to fucking stranglehold countries' resources and stranglehold fucking fiat currency and use the petrodollar to bully countries into eliminating their gold-backed currencies and jumping back into American fiat. Will print, we are U.S. print RS, paper currency, power of the world. You know what I mean? And that's how they gain their influence and destructive nature over the world. But that's a different subject. Right now we're talking about nuclear destruction, and we're talking about the prophecy of America being nuked, Russia being nuked, China being nuked. All right, the world being nuclearly cleansed. That may not even be a word, but we'll use it. Nuclear fire will cleanse the earth. Nuclear fire will cleanse this planet from all the wickedness and evil that has been allowed to progress and manifest on the earth. It will happen. Thus saith the scriptures. Thus says Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai. All right. None of his words will return not to naught. All right. We'll stop there and jump into the scriptures because that's the part that is love. You know what I mean? So there's your fleshly example of what time we're in. Now let's get into the spiritual example of what time we're in. Matter of fact, I'll stop it right